The following morning, I wake up thinking Thinking most of my time is going to be spent trying to avoid Shizune and Misha. What happened last evening still makes me feel uneasy. I thought that sleeping on it would help alleviate that feeling, and I feel like an idiot for believing that it would be that easy. I think about whether or not Misha might feel the same way. If so, she'd probably won't show up to school today. I considered doing the same, but it would be pretty suspicious. And staying inside all day in fear doesn't appeal to me. Never really has. Like I thought, Misha isn't in class this morning. Shizune is, but today's a busier day than most. So she gives all her concentrating on her classwork. And that means there's little idle time for her to start up a conversation with me. Sorry, I have really bad hiccups right now. I'd grown so used to seeing Shizune and Misha together that I hadn't realized it until yesterday how much there hasn't been that case lately. That hasn't been the case lately. And it's a shame, because the empty seat next to her reminds me that they are a pair, so yesterday is something I'll take to my grave. If I feel this way about it, I wonder how Misha must feel. Just as regretful? When she came on to me, she was more depressed than sexy to start with. I can only imagine how much worse it would be now. Thinking about it like that, I want to see her again, but only half-heartedly. The other half of me is still terrified, even though I hate to use that word. It makes me feel ashamed, but I'm sure it's the only way to describe myself right now. I spend the next couple periods in the library, not in the mood to sit in classes for the rest of the day, but unwilling to walk back to the dorms. While I'm lazily flipping through the pages of an uninteresting historical fiction novel, Shizune drops herself into a chair across from me, pouting. I think it's sort of pointless to come to school and then skip every class. Sorry. At least tell everyone that you're sick. I'm just not feeling it today. Yesterday I was fine, though. Tomorrow I'll probably be fine. Taking a sick day in the middle of the week is just too suspicious. That 24-hour flu thing or whatever won't fly. It's not suspicious. It is. I turn back to my book, but Shizune gently puts it down, in contrast with her expression, which straddles the line between concern and anger. Is something wrong? What? Is something bothering you? Because you're acting a little suspicious today, in a different way. If there is, just tell me, or I'll be mad. I'm not good at reading people. What a ridiculous thing to say, after picking up my mood so easily. She is only half kidding, but there is some truth to it. After all, she can't hear tone, and has to rely on reading things to communicate with others. It's almost as if you could hear... Wait. It's as if you could only ever have conversations with someone through text messages. That has to mess with you in some way. It's probably why she has to stare so intently at people in order to gauge their reaction. Maybe it's why she pushes people so hard, to get them to react. I've thought about it before, but it's too hard to say for sure what Shizune's exact motivations are for anything. So I wonder how much of that was a joke. Sometimes it's easy to tell. This time it isn't. Assuming it wasn't a joke, I can't tell her anyway. Because of sign language, there's enough time to collect myself and lie effectively. Nothing. I've just been thinking a lot about student council's future lately. I believe Misha's doing the same. Well, in her own way. So am I, but she isn't here today. I wish she would have let me know something, because I might need her help later today. Yours too, unless you're busy. I'm not. Thank you. I feel like I'm losing a lot of people close to me lately. I can't think of a good way to respond to that. Something reassuring and confident and telling her not to worry. I'm here for you. I'm not like one of those people. Then who is? It seems so forced. I manage a wave of my hand that seems extremely callous as soon as I do it. You shouldn't feel that way. I might just be a little sick. Not enough to go through the trouble of making it official. It's just easier for me this way. It's the wrong way. I've heard the hard way and the right way are usually the same thing, so it's not a big stretch to say the opposite is true. Well, fine. If you say you're alright, then that's good enough for me. Wait. You asked me, so I'm turning it around. Is everything okay with you? Yes? She signs it without a moment's hesitation. After that, Shizune waits to see if I'm going to follow up on it. I don't, and she leaves. I feel like an idiot for not going further, even though I think it's better that I didn't. I've been in the library for quite a while and decided to go up to the roof for a change of pace. Fresh breeze hits me the second I open the door. This really is my favorite area of the school, I think. Then I see that I'm not the only one here. I can see a girl with a bubblegum pink hair in front of me. Her back is to me, and I don't have to see her face to know who it is. I'm sure Misha is the only person in the world with hair like that. I get the feeling that I've stumbled onto her in a bad moment. She obviously wants to be alone, and I wonder if she hasn't noticed my presence. If so, I'll leave right now, but she has and turns to face me. Is she crying? Oh, Hee-chan. Oh, she's just sad. I thought someone was behind me, but I didn't think it was going to be you. This time you surprised me. If she's referring to her habit of sneaking up behind me and asking me to guess who it is, I've never been surprised by that. I'm surprised too, but she's so cute in this picture. I'm sorry, I know she's sad, but she's just really cute with her hair like this. I'm surprised too, but this is good. I had something I wanted to talk to you about anyway. Not that. What's going on between you and Shizune? She won't tell me, so I'm asking you. Because you're easier to get an answer out of, since the same sign language that gives me the leeway to lie to her gives her a cushion against my questions, so that she can easily brush them off. When she hesitates, I push her harder. Give me an honest answer, please. It's complicated, Hee-chan. It's because of something that happened a long time ago. I thought I could just forget about it, but it's really hard, so... That and graduation coming up made me want to spend more time with Hee-chan. So I'm assuming that a long time ago they both liked me, and then like Shizune won, I guess. She won us, and now she's like seeing the I'm assuming this based off of the cutscene from a long time ago, where she was like watching us get happy together and she got really sad, because that's what it feels like is happening. But Hee-chan is always busy now, so we've been fighting, and I'm getting tired of it now, because I like Hee-chan. So do I. No, I know you like her, Hee-chan. I mean that I like Hee-chan in the same way. Oh shit, really? I want her to be my girlfriend. I was not expecting this at all, but I'm glad this is happening. This is actually interesting. Misha closes her eyes like a condemned criminal. Okay, so I was right, but I was wrong in the correct way. Maybe it's like both. Does she see us both? Or was she trying to get us to cheat on her so she could, like, do something? I don't know. When she closes her eyes, like a condemned criminal confessing the last of their sins in front of an executioner, that makes it harder for me to think of a response, and I know I have to give one. I see. I never knew. I didn't really want to come to this school, Hee-chan, but it sounded interesting. And if everyone hated me, at least okay, still, I want to know what happened to her as well. I want to know what her condition is. Or if she just came here for some reason. But it sounded interesting, and even if everyone hated me, at least it felt they would leave me alone. I was learning sign language, but I wasn't very good at it. Hee-chan was trying to get people to join the student council because it was only her and Lily. And she came up to me, and I couldn't understand her at all. But Hee-chan wouldn't use a pen and paper. She knew that I was taking sign language classes. I was exposed quickly, and I didn't know any. That only made her try harder. I hated Hee-chan and thought she was making fun of me. That wasn't the reason, though. So I slowly fell in love with Hee-chan, and I told her that I loved her. Oh my god, her long hair? Or is that Lily? No, Lily wouldn't have her eyes open like that. It was at the student council room, when it was just the two of us. I had these fantasies of Hee-chan staying alone in the office, trying to put everything together all by herself. It seemed so lonely to me, so sad. I think I wanted it to be that way. That way I could be there for Hee-chan, and maybe Hee-chan would like me. Even though there was no reason for me to believe it, I did anyway. I wanted it to be true, so I was okay with letting myself believe it even though I think I knew. That day was really, really beautiful too, Hee-chan. We were done with everything, and I was looking out through the window. Even through the window, the light was so warm. I wanted to sit like that forever next to Hee-chan. But then I looked at Hee-chan, and she had her back to the window and was still working on something, blocked out of the rest of the world. The light was on her shoulders. Then I would put a blanket on my shoulders like as a little kid. Misha stops for a second. Sorry, jeez. Misha stops for a second as if trying to hold on to the image of Shizune in her mind. Hee-chan looked... It was like Hee-chan, but looked... What? It was like Hee-chan looked in a way that made me want to be with her. But it felt like it would be hard for that to happen. That was really a long time ago. My hair was different back then, too. A little messy. I cut it because Shi-chan was always talking about it. Anyway, I told her right there and then and there. I confessed. I was rejected. So I thought that was it, Hichan, but Shi-chan was always trying to find me, and I hated Shi-chan again for it. And when I asked her why she was doing it, it was because I was her friend. Her cheeks have a hint of red in them, and I wonder how much experience she has had with crying that can keep herself from doing it so well. If she didn't pause to wipe her eyes, I might not have noticed. Having Shi-chan say that made me really happy, but also sad. Even though she's never meant to hurt me, it still hurts, even now. Shi-chan has a way of manipulating people, Hichan. Sometimes she wants to, and sometimes she doesn't really, but it happens anyway. And sometimes I'm just not sure which one it is, and I feel doubt. I just wish that Shi-chan liked me instead of you. Made me wonder if I was starting to hate you and Shi-chan, just a little. I didn't like that. So you were thinking maybe it would be better if I weren't here at all? She looks confused. The thought has never crossed her mind. That's not it, Hichan. I thought about these things the last few days, and I didn't want to hate anyone, you or Shi-chan. It's so stupid that I ever felt like that, isn't it, Hichan? I don't want to think about that stuff ever again. And missing people and being apart from them, I'm tired of it. I don't want to think about it anymore. So what was that yesterday? What were you trying to do? Because you don't have any romantic interest in me. You have it in Shizune, so... What was that? I already did, though, so... I'm still really the worst kind of person. I wasn't thinking that it would be better if Hichan had never come to this school. I was thinking, wouldn't it be better if I just died? Ooh. Misha presses herself harder against the fence than at her back, as if hoping to slip right through it. Without really thinking about it, I grab her hand. My reflexes are terrible, and I manage to only grasp it a few of her fingers, but it's unimportant. Sorry, it's the flick from the really good art into this is crazy, too. It's just funny. Sorry, it's just that you said something pretty weird just now. Yeah, I guess that's right, Hichan. Yeah. Do you want to know what I think? Shizune's the type of person who won't let anyone close to her except on her terms. What? Won't let anyone close to her except on her terms. It's frustrating, sometimes even it's infuriating. That probably would have bothered me if I was in the hospital and anyone who shut me out was dead to me. I've forgotten all about it until recently. I got a letter and it was all about that. I was mad, I thought. How could you accuse me of closing myself off from everyone and giving up? Isn't that what everyone did to me? What else was I supposed to do? What can I do? Yeah, even now, I know that's what happened, but she was right, too. I didn't close myself off. So I made up my mind that I'm not going to let that be the case ever again. The hospital, Hichan? Is that what those pills are for? Just listen, please. Shizune is the opposite of how I was. She's always wanted to draw people closer to her. That's the only reason Shizune was interested in me in the first place, I think. And I think I was determined not to let that happen, in any way. Misha casts her own eyes downwards, understanding perfectly. I never realized how hard that could be. And now I feel like I'm going to return the favor. Even if it takes twice as long, I've already learned a second language just to get this far. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but it was definitely hard. Sometimes I felt like it was clawing my way up a mountain without my hands hurt. And you did the same thing, and it was for the same reason, wasn't it? It's really amazing. Which is why it makes me sad, and a little angry, that you would say a stupid thing like that. That's just what I believe, anyway. Her shoulders slump, and Misha almost slides to the floor, like she's drained of all energy. You're too dramatic, Hichan, she says, while looking away, turning her head almost as if she wants to look out at the school grounds, but not turning enough to do so. The door behind us opens, and the only sound is barely heard is over the ambient breeze. Shizune. I've been looking everywhere for you two. Is this some secret meeting? She walks over to us, leaning against the fence, next to Misha, as if she needs to stop and catch her breath before pushing herself off and continuing. I'm bored sitting in the student council room every day now, without either of you coming by. Taking some time off is fine, but this is just too much. Normally, Misha and I would be joking, making excuses for ourselves at this point. This time, there's only silence. Shizune was always expecting resistance, is thrown off balance by the lack of it. A few seconds pass in uneasy silence, which Shizune breaks with an ear-shattering snap of her fingers, smiling as if to say, Eureka! Let's go do something together. Like what? Anything. We should go to the student council room first, and then figure out what to do from there. That seems like a trick to get us to do work instead. Very funny. Misha laughs, managing to let out a restrained wahaha. That Shizune can't see it. That Shizune can't see it makes me feel better. It means that it was only for her benefit. Wasn't only for her benefit. I was thinking how you both could help me with something. What else is there? We can't go out to eat. Well, we already ordered in yesterday. That was already breaking policy. 3 days in a row would be unforgivable. But that was ordering in Chichan. Going out to eat, it's different. Yeah, totally different. You're both kidding yourselves. Before I can reply, Shizune grabs my hand, limiting my ability to do so. My options cut down so drastically I have no choice but to settle, making a face at her instead. She gives me one back, before extending her arm, her hand to Misha as well. When Misha is reluctant to take it, I walk forward, as far as holding on to Shizune. At the same time, will allow me to take her hand to myself. She only has a second to smile before Shizune starts pulling us impatiently towards the door, binding us together like a human chain. Aw, this is such a cute picture. What the fuck? Shizune's cute. Hisao looking fancy. This undone tie, and Misha looking really cute. This is the dream for the man here, by the way. Anyway, although it's dangerous, none of us seem to think letting go any step of the way through school, out of the doors and across the grounds. God, imagine the other students seeing this. Also, who's that in the back? What the fuck? Is that Edna or whatever from Tales of Vesperia? Idiot. This feels familiar, as if we've walked like this before, the three of us hand in hand. Of course, the mood was a lot happier then. I can see the lingering sadness on their faces, and it makes me wonder if anything has really changed. If this is all just a distraction or not. But I think it's just me slipping back into the being cynical because the moment is the start.